back in the garage, and I ran to the auto parts store. I picked up, kind of exciting, I picked up oil and oil filter, and then assorted things so that I can get my oil filter relocation kit installed. And I tell you what, getting oil is kind of a monumental thing, because it means that I'm to the point where I can actually put it in the engine. Now, I hadn't really thought about it until a moment ago, but once the oil lines are in, and I install a dipstick, which is, oh, I gotta stop doing that, which is over here. Here we go. Whatever. Once I install these two, which hopefully I can do, we'll see. Goes down there somewhere. There's no reason for me to not put oil in the car. In fact, I could throw a wrench on the, maybe, on the crank bolt down there, turn the engine over a bit and get oil circulating. Which is just, I don't know, it seems like a big hurdle has been crossed. So that's pretty cool. I'm gonna get started by getting that back on and tightened down and finalized. Then I'll probably move on to the cooling sensor, get that in, and the other side plugged. And then finally taking this guy off again and putting it back on. Somebody suggested using Deutsch connectors or WeatherPack connectors so that I could connect these guys to the cylinder head and more easily remove them when I need to. And I think that's a great idea. However, I don't have any. And I could get a kit, and I should probably get a kit to do so. I just don't have it yet. Excuse me. This does seem to be part of the overall engine harness. On this side, at least. Let me check the other side. Where is it hiding over here? There's one over here somewhere. Well, wherever it is. Oh, what are you? Oh, knock sensor, whatever. I'm not running that. Either way, there's one over here somewhere. And I believe it's part of the engine harness. And what I mean by that is that it's not part of the coil packs or the injectors. If that's the case, I guess I don't feel too bad about putting it directly to the heads, but I will absolutely admit that I think it would be better and easier to make leads that go from the head to a connector and then connect to the harness. I think that is a brilliant idea. And if I had them, I'd do it now. Because I don't have them, I'll order some. And if I ever have to take it off again, then I'll do that. So let's get started. Actually, I'm going to start over here on the workbench. And I'm going to seal and tighten these two ports on this side, and then seal and tighten these two down. Do that before I get out of the car. I had to dig quite a bit to find this guy. It's an H3/8 inch hex adapter. I want to be careful to not mar the mounting surface for the actual filter. I'm going to try and clamp it in below there. Hopefully I can do so without jacking this thing up at all. So now, more for my own record than anything, I brought the block here to the local auto parts store, and I just opened up different oil filters until I found one that fit, which happened to be an HP 1002 from Canon. I really like Canon's filters because they come with these hex heads in the top. So if you have problems with the wrenches and crap fitting on them, gripping them, the hex heads make it a lot easier. I also picked up some cheap oil. It's only got to last for the first little period of break-in and testing. I went with a 5W30 because that is what the Trailblazer used, and that is where this engine came from. So I figure it's a safe bet at least. Let me just get oil all over my clean engine. Now I could probably pour oil down into the actual block here, but it just run into the pan, so probably not really worth it. Cool. All right, oil filter installed. Pretty exciting. Dipstick. Let's take a look at that a second. So the dipstick port is right down there. I don't know where it wants the dipstick to go. Here is the supplied dipstick. Is it supposed to go here, perhaps? If so, that's not bad. I guess I can make that work. Alright, let me see here so I can figure out what hex bit I need to get that guy. Maybe I shouldn't film me working on stuff, because then you guys can see that I have to redo everything 600 times every time I try and do something. So, okay, good. I put a slight bend in this tube and was able to get everything cranked down there as well as I think it needs to be. To do so, I put the tube in my little chuck here and just made tiny little bends. I bend a little bit, then move, then bend a little bit and move, and bend just the smallest amount. And you can kind of see it just gently curves away from the block so it's not mashed up against it. So I think we're okay. I kind of want to put oil in the engine. I think I might. I don't think I have any reason not to. So let's do that. Okay, all in all, it took about 6.5 quarts. It'll probably take another quart or so once the oil begins circulating and comes up through here. A quart, maybe half a quart. But it's at least got oil in it now, which is cool. Also, I seem to have eaten my oil cap. I'm going to turn the engine over a couple times by hand, just to get the oil moving around a little bit. And then I'll work on the coolant stuff. Well, I turned it over a couple times, then I got to thinking I should probably wait and pull all the spark plugs out. And if I'm going to pull the spark plugs out, then I'll wait until I have the starter ready to go. So I'll wait on that. Oil's in the engine now, so I'm not going to forget it. That's the important thing. So let's move on to the coolant thing here a second. Looks like a little hex head there. Let me grab a hex head and take that off. Now, my favorite thing in the world, pulling off the intake plenum. Now, one thing that I wanted to check while I'm in here is these guys here. I think I mentioned the last video. There are little seals that go below them. I wasn't entirely sure if they went on because these have O-rings on them. So in my head I thought, well, why would I put a seal below an O-ring? But factory, they have little O-rings on them, and they use the seals. So I'm gonna make sure they have them on. If they don't, I'm gonna put them on. And that way I've got all my bases covered. So I've got my bolt here. I know you guys can't really see. Let me see if I can move you. Okay, so I've got my bolt, and right here is a... Oh yeah, this is gonna be fine. This is gonna be fine. Right here. Right there. Okay. Good. Awesome. That is a... I had to switch to my phone because my GoPro memory card is full, actually. I'm recording in 4K and it's probably excessive, but I ended up doing the second pass of torquing on the intake plenum. I got the injectors plugged back in. I got the injector harnesses plugged back in. All the sensors over here plugged back in. Yeah. that's a productive day. I am going to wrap this video up here. As always, I sincerely and honestly appreciate you guys hanging out with me, giving me advice, offering me tips. It means a lot. I appreciate it. Please, if you haven't yet, be so kind as to subscribe, like, and leave a comment if you don't mind. Otherwise, in the next one, I'm going to try and get these coil packs on over here. Then I can tighten down the fuel system and continue wiring. I have to wire the alternator and torque down and wire the starter. I should be able to feed the harness for the ECU into the car and get the ECU wired up as well. So we are getting dangerously close. Thanks again, and I will see you all in the next one.